Morning gents, welcome to another Shave of the Day video. Today we're going to focus on hardware again as opposed to soap, and it's a razor. Today we're going to focus on, not one of my brush collection, but a razor you don't see often on my videos, and today I'm going to be showing you the baby Gillette Tech. Now it's a diddy little razor, as you can see it's tiny. I mean, in comparison to a 39C, tiny. So, this is the razor of the day. I want to tell you a little bit about it. I acquired it from a nice chap on the shaving room. I'd wanted something old for quite some time and didn't really know what I wanted. I didn't want to go down sort of the possible pitfalls of a TTO and have dodgy mechanisms or bent teeth on an old open comb. So I thought a Gillette Tech would be perfect because it's a simple little razor. Now it's a three-piece, as you can see, a very, very small, thin, lightweight, knurled aluminium handle, nothing scary, and a two-piece head and base plate. Very simple, very well engineered piece of kit. Don't know if it will show up on here, but made in England in 1972, as indicated by the date stamp on the bottom. Now, I'm no expert in dating Gillettes, but that is what it is. It's a 1972 Gillette Tech, and you can see the top cap. Simple bit of kit. Let's pop that down there. What I notice and what I love about it, if you can see just on the corners, on all four corners of the cap, there are little indicators, little notches, little bits of steel, I think steel anyway, that act as a blade holder, and it works perfectly, and it's a simple design. So when you've got the top cap and the plate, you'll notice in the ends of the plate, try and show it best you can, little notches that correspond on each end of the plate that then fit over the post, and they kind of mate together and lock up, and that's how the blade's held in position. So, blade today is going to be an Astra Superior Stainless, fresh out the pack, and a nice blade. I like sharp blades with the Tech, and they work best because it's a very mild razor. Now you can see it sitting there, the blade just pops over the centre post, and you see the blade sits in. You can see the little locator notches on the top there, just sort of sit on the end of the blade, and then the cap goes over, so the base plate sits in, and everything is locked into position perfectly. No alignment problems. There is no need to align it because it's held in place, such is the nature of the beast. Now, once it's all loaded up, you can see it's a very mild razor. You can see there's not a lot of blade gap going on. It's very difficult to show you this here. There we go. Not a lot of blade gap going on. Not a lot at all exposure. So this is what I think makes this razor ideal for anyone who's new to traditional wet shaving and wants to try DE. It's not going to give you grief, it's not going to punish you anywhere near as much as an R41 or my 39C could. It's a mild yet effective razor. It works best with the sharper blades, I find. So, onto the shave. What are we using for the rest of the kit? Well, I've already done the hot towel, nothing to worry about there. Brush, as always, is a Cadman 26mm silver tip knot. And today's soap, it's a lovely 1912 frankincense from Darren at Wickham's. So we're going to face lather, just a touch of extra water on the tips of the brushes, and we're going to load up. So, how's your first full week been back at work, chaps? Hopefully it's been bit better than mine. Mine's a bit chaotic, shall we say. Work. That's all we'll say. It's not one thing, it's another. It's been a busy week finalising the last bits for my mother-in-law's funeral. Sorted out the flowers today. Hopefully she likes them, you know, because my mother-in-law deserved the best, because she was the best mother-in-law a chap could ever ask for. Make no mistake about it. She's missed very dearly by everyone who knew her. So there we go, a short load, and the brush is chocker. So now you'll notice there's a fair bit of soap, pre-lather in there. I don't like to waste it. You can see there's a good bit there, so I'm going to look a bit silly for a minute for you and just sort of rub it in. Smells lovely. So on to face lathering. Got a bit of water in there already. Build it up a bit. And so back to the Gillette Tech. Why do I like it? Well, for days when I'm not feeling like the sharpest tack in the box, or when it's late in the day, like it is today, and I'm nursing a migraine type headache. I've taken all the pills to try and stave it off, and so far it's working relatively well. So I'm not concentrating 100%. I like to just have something a little bit safer, a little bit milder, just so I can give myself a little bit of room for error, so to speak. Just want to add a little bit of more water. So I'm using the camera screen as a bit of a mirror. Looking past you into the room behind you, wherever you are. A bit more water because it's quite thick. It's a lovely soap. But as with everything, the name is wet shaving, and the key is to get the right amount of water in your lather. You don't want it too dry. I think I want some more. Let's face it, building the lather on your face is always good as well, because it works your bristles, stimulates the skin, and prepares yourself nicely for the shave. So there we have it. Stacks of lather in there, stacks on the old face. Get rid of this bit, because like Andy, the Northern Shaver, pointed out, it's nice to have lather on your face but not in your mouth. It doesn't taste too good. So the shave, the razor is all ready to go. It's been sitting in the water warming up a little bit, and we're just going to go. And it's very lightweight. Which could lead you to think you want to add pressure, but you really don't. It's the same as any other razor, just let the weight of the razor do the work. And it is a very smooth shaver. There's nothing aggressive about it at all. And the other thing I like about it is it's hard to get the angle wrong. It's very intuitive. I mean, the top cap, it doesn't have like a mongoose, it doesn't have a very obvious kind of point where you have a sweet spot. It's quite curved and it could pick up anywhere. But, like I say, it's hard to get the angle wrong with the Tech, which is another reason I like to recommend it for a newbie or someone who may have sort of dexterity issues with their hands. I mean, I have arthritis in my left hand, particularly in my left elbow, which can on days limit my movement and comfort. So a razor that makes it easier to shave is always a bonus. So let's clean off and see where we're at for the first pass. Now, like I say, with it being a mild razor, it's nowhere near as close as, say, my R41 or my 39C, but don't get me wrong, that doesn't mean it's not close. Just not as close as those two other razors. It's still better than a Carp for me. Infinitely better than a Gillette. It's just a very nice, easy-going razor to use. And I wouldn't be without it. And the good thing is about these as well, these little tiny razors, is they're a tiny price as well. You can generally pick them up from, depending on how lucky you are on any given day, from probably about £5 upwards. Now, I've seen some go for more. You can get your slightly fancy models. This is the Alu-Tech, as they tend to be called, so it's like the aluminium handle. Real lightweight, cheap to produce, I dare say. And I think that's part of the charm, is that they are a razor for every man, you know. It's the sort of thing that you would have known uncles and granddads and dads to shave with back in the day. And I mean, like I say, my dad grew up in the sort of 50s and 60s, so it's entirely possible. I mean, I know he had a red tip. It's entirely possible he may have had one of these at some point. You never know. There's lots of good things to say about this razor. Like I say, I feel comfortable using it today when I'm not 100% myself. In fact, I've never had a bad shave from it. It's really nice in that sense. Like I say, I do like to team it with sharper blades. Sort of milder blades like a Derby or a Treat. Something like that. Supermaxes, they don't really work all that well for me with that razor. They're just not keen enough, which is kind of an odd thing to say about a razor blade, really, given their nature. They're just not keen enough. It's a very mild razor, it needs a sharper blade. So my favourite three blades for that razor are the Astra Blue, which is in it now, the Astra Green, the Superior Platinum, and the feather. I get the best results from those. Oh, and the Gillette 7 o'clock yellows, the sharp edge, they work really nicely in it as well. Every time you get a great shave. With any of them 3 blades in there. I dare say there's multitudes of others that I haven't yet tried that will work equally as well, because they've got super sharp edges. And it's actually a razor that my wife will comfortably use as well. I've managed to somehow convert some of her over to the dark side of proper wet shaving. I did buy an Edwin Jagger with a lovely purple handle, but she likes using this as well because it's so easy and intuitive. So, third and final pass for the day against the grain, and it is necessary to get a really good shave to go against the grain with this razor. Like I say, it's mild, but it does leave a bit of stubble behind if you don't go against. But I may even need to do a bit of touch up today. That's the only downside to this razor really is if you really want the closest of close shaves, you will have to do a bit of touch up. Particularly if you've got heavy growth, like myself, in 1 or 2 areas, particularly around the goatee, sort of here. It doesn't always get every last bit. Like I said, it's very forgiving. And it's so smooth. It honestly is one of the smoothest shaves you'll ever have. And that's in part due to the tiny amount of blade exposure, the closed comb, and the very small amount of blade gap. It's almost as if you're not shaving at all. So, it's that smooth. So we are done with the shave. All 3. Wonderful smooth passes. Complete. And it feels nice. So I'm not going to worry too much about the little tiny bit of touch up I need down there, but it's like the tiniest of patches. Everything else is spot on. So, let's make sure we're all little tiny weeper, new blade curse. Happens every time. Always get one. So, let's recap the shave very briefly. We've had the 1912 frankincense from Wickham Soap, whipped up by the Cadman 26mm silver tip knot in my L7 handle. And the star of the show today is, just dry it off here, the Gillette Alu-Tech from Gillette, made back in 1972 with an Astra Superior stainless blade. Just, yeah, a tiny little something and nothing. Anyway, so like I say, it's small, very small, very lightweight. I haven't actually weighed it, but I will, and pop it in the comments below, maybe in the description. It's got a light knurling on the handle. I think it's solid. I believe it's solid anyway. Let's just see if we can tell. No, it is hollow. It is hollow, so it's drilled out or cast. I Can't see any casting marks. I suspect drilled out and then milled to shape with that nice little knurling. It's not heavy in any way, but there's enough there for plenty of grip. So that lovely closed comb that offers minimal blade exposure and blade gap for a perfectly smooth shave. And like I say, the best bit is the blade securing in this. It's a little bit of genius, really, because like on some traditional heads, the heads that is, it leaves room for everything to slide around. But if I can just get that there on the corners, you can see those little sort of little bumps of steel that when you pop the blade on, the nature of the beast is such that the cutout on the blade lines up perfectly with those little notches, and the base plate itself has corresponding locator lugs that when it all sits together, it's just locked perfectly into place. So again, in my opinion, the ideal razor for anyone really, but beginners in particular to the DE shave. So yeah, I'm glad I got it. Like I say, it didn't cost me a lot. It cost me under a tenner. Under a tenner all in. I think I paid about £7 or thereabouts. It's been a while now. It offers a smooth shave every time. It's a lovely bit of English history. Okay, King Gillette wasn't English, I don't think. I think he was American. But made in England in 1972. Still in use in 2017. So, a long time ago, 45 years, this little bit of shaving history has been in place, and it's as good as new and works just like it should. So, gentlemen and ladies, if you're watching, I've enjoyed my shave today with the Gillette Tech Alu-Tech from 1972. Have I told you it's from 1972 yet? I know I have a few times. I'm just making a point of saying that I know. I've told you countless times and I'm waffling. Gives you a smooth shave every time without fail. So if you're new to wet shaving, this is an ideal razor to pick up. And any kind of variant on the Tech will be ideal for you. So yeah, thank you gentlemen and ladies for watching. This has been the 1972 Gillette Tech. I have been me. I would very much appreciate your likes. Very much appreciate your subscriptions. We're knocking on for a couple of hundred now, so I'd like to see that 200 soon. And I'll try and do something special for that when it comes around. Keep your eyes peeled, subscribe, and you'll get to see what it is. So yeah, I've been Nick. This has been the Gillette. Bye.